Hello, today I'm going to try to show you how to beat the Trial of the Sword in Master Mode with in the beginning trials, just the beginning trials today, with zero risk. Oh, I can't say zero, very minimal risk. In fact, I'm going to start with only 3 hearts. And I'm going to try to explain to you the steps to follow in order to get through this trial, which some people say the beginning trial is actually the hardest of the 3 trials. I disagree, but that's partly because of the tricks I'm going to show you here. Now, none of the things we're going to do today are the fastest way to clear a room. Well, actually, I think room 3 is pretty much what I'm going to show you is about the fastest way you're going to do it. Now, here we're going to be running around these trees to the back side of the encampment and where these 3 bokoblins are. We're going to give a quick whistle and climb up this tree, wait until all 3 of them pass us, hop down and grab up all the weapons before they have a chance to get to them. Now, the important 3 weapons that we're going to be after are the ranged weapons, the 3 spears that are down there. If we can at least get those, then we should have no problem getting through this board in a relatively decent amount of time and not take any damage. So, here we go. You want to line it up right on the tree. Quick whistle. And then get your ass up there. And don't fall off. That's an absolute foul on my part. So, we got 2 of the ranged weapons. The long sword. And we got our problem is right here. The spear. See, all of these other guys got like a, not like a startup time, but sort of like, there's like a buffer between when they start. Yeah, he's dead. So what I did was, when that guy picks up that spear, lights it on fire, starts chasing after you, you just got to get him in a tall grass and get him to do a strike on you. And he's going to catch himself on fire. And we'll pick up that spear to stop this guy from getting it. Oh, he's doing a nice little dance for us. So he's got a blade that he just dropped. So that didn't go exactly to plan, but like I said, if you can get all 3 of the ranged weapons, then basically you just run around and just keep dropping. You don't have to switch between your bombs. You can take your time, drop the bombs, and get the guys separated. Once they're separated, yeah, use this rusty what's that, halberd or whatever, to take the guys out after you knock a couple points of health off them. Now here, All we're worried about is taking this guy down off his little pedestal. And then giving him some wax. Oop. So what I'm waiting for now is that guy blew his horn. He's got his bow out. He's shooting arrows. He's all mad. Oh, we're in the tree. But we have to take him out first. Now normally, if you were going for any kind of a speed run or anything, you would want to get up on top of the platform and take those two guys out now. Since he blew his horn, he alerted these our two guys, but they quickly calmed down. And we take a little perch up on top of this tree, and then we're just gonna wait a minute for these two guys to take the position. Their little rest position. And it should only take a minute or so. They're still wound up a little bit. Like I said, I could go anytime now and take these guys out with sneak strikes, but I'm waiting for them to get to the optimal position that you could get down there and have no risk taking them out. And they're going to do a little bit of sniffing, and they should go right back to where they're supposed to be. They'll both turn around and give you the opportunity to swoop in, and they're both one-hit kill with the sneak strike. So I'm actually confused why they're not going back already, but the one guy might actually be back to where he was, but he's not in his optimal position. And I don't want to waste arrows on these guys, so we'll just wait another minute. Make sure we got on the broadsword, because it's not powerful, but it's fast. Now we might.
You guys hear me like opening boxes and stuff? That's the unboxing.
We might be getting close to where we're gonna have to go for it. But I'll show you the position that these guys had they not alerted, and normally even if they do alert, the guy with the shield and with the sword should be standing right here facing away from us, and he should be see, he just took his position. So maybe we'll wait another 30 seconds or so and give the guy with the club to get to where he's supposed to be. Yep, looks like he's heading over to where he's supposed to be, so he's gonna do a couple more sniffs. And they're still not facing the exact right direction, but just land and crouch. Oh, you do quickly turn around, make sure that he didn't get alerted. But then just take your time and crouch and walk right up behind him, and we're gonna do another sneak strike on this guy. And we're done. Now that room took probably a couple minutes longer than it should have, even being absolutely 100% safe. So we want that first box with the arrows. Now this guy here looks like he was shooting some arrows into the board. Now get ourselves on bomb, prepare ourselves for the next level here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this blue guy and then go right to your other bomb and get ready. As soon as he pops up, hit the red guy, then go to your blue bomb, look down, wait for all three of them to get in close, blow up your bomb, and then you're just gonna want to take your time and shoot those guys.
Out of all the videos, me and my dad is the best at that arrow thing. All the other people stop for some reason.
Now this next board here, the first thing we're going to need to do is stasis the guy at the top here. And we're going to need to take and shoot him. One shot will do it. Take your time, shoot him right in the face, and he'll fall right off. Now, we're going to climb this post. And if you haven't already, you have to make sure that you got your axe equipped. And I'll tell you why after I knock this guy off. You're just hitting Y twice. And your second strike, you're going to do that little spin, and you're gonna knock him clean off the pedestal, and from this height he dies. Now while we're talking, we're missing our chance on this dude. But the second reason is in master mode it doesn't seem that that the axe won't blow up the bomb barrels. So with the axe equipped, it gives you option or the opportunity to knock that guy clean off of the pedestal, and you don't have any risk of blowing up the barrels, which you do with every other weapon. Now it's tempting here to just jump off and think that you're going to sneak strike this guy here. The problem is, unless you've mastered crouching and walking and then jumping and doing that off into a glide, you're going to alert him as soon as you jump off of that ledge to your presence. He's going to turn around, then you're going to end up having to do kind of like a spin move with your sledgehammer, and you're going to alert every single guy on the board. So what you can do is pop back up here. Takes you an extra 15 seconds or so, but it gives you the peace of mind that you're guaranteed that whenever you land behind this guy, providing you don't land on top of him, you're going to get your sneak strike. Now, between your sneak strikes here, make sure that you crouch down, because what's going to happen is, if you don't, you alert these two clowns down here, which we actually did. I'm not sure how, but anyhow, we're going to take them out the same way. Yep, he's going upstairs for me, so Oh, there he is. And I'm not gonna have enough. Oh, we got him. That was entirely unintentional, but it's a good thing that he's out of the way anyhow, because he's carrying a long spear, and we typically would wait for him at the top and hit him with our stasis and knock him out. But we'll do him the same way. We'll just, I think 4 hits is all. Yeah, so that's all of them. That wasn't perfect. I was intending to take him out on this floor, and then you can do a quick. When you take him out, you bust these boxes. It always alerts that guy down there with the spear. You can either wait till he gets up here, and you stasis him and hit him with that soldier's broadsword that very first guy that we got dropped, or you can watch. You'll see the question mark over his head coming around the stairs, and then whenever he gets to the side of the stairs where you are, you just pop off and hit him a couple times in the dome. Now what we're going to do now is double check that we have 2 12-power bows, because we shouldn't be leaving here without both of them. And whenever I killed this guy here, remember I intended to land here, and I went off the edge and didn't get his bow. But you're gonna want that bow, and actually it might be a good idea to go ahead and equip it now, because the last thing you want is the bow to become damaged and you go into a straight free fall. So as soon as we start right up the tree, give this guy a second, pop off. And depending on how lucky you are, that wasn't exactly perfect. But what we want here is make sure our stasis is on. We want him alerted. Now he's carrying a spear, so we have to be careful and use the stasis on him. But the most important thing is hit him after. You have to hit him after this tree, or everybody inside there is going to come. We're going to be aware of your presence. So, and then just like every other video, right to the eyeball, and I lost somebody. Okay. Straight through the eyeball, and here's the important thing. Now, you'll notice that I grab up these clubs, and I'm not sure where the other one went. But most of the time people grab just that one weapon, this this club here, because it's got a 27 power, and against this stone talus, it's going to do a good amount of damage. Now, what we're going to do is use this spiked bokeh bat, and what you're going to want to do is make sure you switch over to the fresh one. Now, the reason we're going to do this is, worst case scenario, if this guy tosses us off, you're looking at losing like half a heart. Where we're going to use that other weapon is going to be at a place where what's gonna happen. So anyhow, you'll notice that I climbed off of him after I broke that first bat. And the reason that I did that was, for some reason, when you're going to use that less powerful weapon, if you stand top from when he goes down and when he comes back up, sometimes he'll do a quick shake and fling you off, or he'll actually use his arm to knock you off. And I found if you jump off and just switch your bat and then hop right back up on there, he's not going to do it to you. So here's the main thing that people stop for on this board. I like to pick up the spear as well, because I find it useful sometimes. And we got a lot of garbage weapons that we could drop here now. And then these two boxes are going to have arrows, and you got food stock and a shield in here that we're not going to worry about. Over here, you're going to have an opportunity to cook some different foods up to help replenish your health. The only thing I would tell you about that is you should be moving faster than what I am right now. So when you cook your foods, make sure that you mix like stamina with food with another kind of power up food. That way you don't ruin your attack up that you should have started with. Now, right here is where we're gonna break out this club. And we're doing good on arrows. Now we're gonna wanna take a couple shots at these guys before we alert them. So you gotta be pretty quick and just knock down their health a little bit, and then make sure we get him, because when they're done spinning, or I mean when they're done being electrocuted or whatever, you should I totally messed this up, guys, so I'm sorry. We're gonna have to do this a little different. That is... Then we're gonna get a little tongue action. I'm not sure what he's doing, but... Like I said, I'm not sure what the other guy was doing, and I don't know if he cooked himself, but exactly what should have happened there, the exact opposite happened. So what I did was I held the slow motion shot with the bow too long, and whenever I landed and by the time I got here, they were done being electrocuted. You need to be up here, and you need to be swinging that club while they're still being electrocuted. That way you could take both of them out without letting them even get to the weapons. So that's a big apology on my part for totally botching that. Okay, on to this guy. The ideal move for this guy is that you're going to want to stasis him, get up behind him, and sneak attack. But the reason why we're going to equip our... Yeah, I think we'll get him. Usually when he's down like that, as soon as he gets up, see, as soon as he comes out of stasis, it's going to pop up for the sneak attack. We go directly to that lizard bow. This guy, we're going to pop him once in the face. He's going to pop up here, turn around all surprised, and sneak strike. If you don't get behind him perfectly or time that perfectly, no worries. Just make sure you're behind him and you can maneuver. He's not very bright. He's not going to turn around on you. Now the next board here is not one that's considered difficult, but for some reason it gives me problems. And a lot of what we do here when we're trying to do either get through like we're doing with 3 hearts, or if you're trying to do like a speed run, is luck. Like this guy here, where'd he go? Oopsie. Yeah, see, we just missed it. The idea is to hit him with 3 fire arrows. Oh, not charged back up yet. Hit him with 3 fire arrows, and then you get him one time whenever he falls down. You see how I couldn't locate him. That kind of messed me up. But you hit him one time, knock him down. As soon as he stands back up, then you use your stasis on him. And that gives you an opportunity to shoot him 3 more times with the arrow, and that should kill him. If it doesn't, like in that situation, you're just going to want to just keep hitting him with the stasis and hitting him with the arrows, you know. Now here, the only part that you really should be able to mess up in this room that they consider the hardest is shooting that guy in the face. Now, the move that you see a lot of these guys on these videos with the speed runs is how they're doing this. All you gotta do is crouch down, begin to move, and then you hit your jump button, and there's really nothing to it. The only trick of this room is patience. You take your shot, and you see how long did I have to get up behind him, and you just get up in front of him, anywhere in front of him. You don't have to be quiet. You don't have to be nothing. Now, if you break your weapon or whatever, you might have to switch your weapon out. In fact, I'm gonna switch my bow out right now too. But see, here's that move again that they use. Don't get too close. But see, especially with this guy here. You see, I totally misplaced that arrow. But you just don't want him anywhere close to the water. If these guys get in the water, then you're dead. Let's see what we have. We're going to actually have to use that knife that I said I never use. Now, it's always tempting. There's a tiny little bit of health. Take 2 shots on them. Now, don't. Just be patient. Take 1 shot and do what you gotta do. Now, basically all we need from here is those arrows. We picked up the bow that the guy we shot in stasis, and now we're on to the second and last board here. And now this board is all about basically you're basically betting on the stupidity of the archer guys here, because see they see you, they get all excited and they get ready to shoot you, but then as soon as you're out of their line of sight, they drop you again. And then before they become alerted, they do the same whole deal. They'll get the question mark, then it turns red. So that gives you basically all the time in the world to take them out. Now, from this distance, this guy still ain't got a chance to get us. But we're going to want to make sure that we time it so that we get here. Now, see, they're all looking around again. And see the question mark? They're like looking around like, who is there somebody over there? I'm not sure what's going on with that guy. I think he caught himself on fire, but he messed up my shot, so. But, so here we go. Take out this last guy, like I said. He's gonna have the question mark. Try to hit him in the head. Now these guys over here are getting all aggravated with us, so we'll have to take care of them. Oh. See, I actually waited there a little bit too long and somebody chucked a rock at me, of all things, so. One of those rocks that you form from wood here. So, yeah, they're chucking more rocks at us. So. That didn't go the way it was supposed to. So, what I intended to do was the 2 blue bokoblins. I was going to jump up there and take those 2 guys out. Then you have 1 guy to handle with the bombs here. Now, what we can do, let's check our... But actually, we're going to have to move because all the talking has affected our time that we have left with our power up. So we might have to hit him twice. Okay. Now just get up close and just hit attack, attack. Some arrows here to use, but we're gonna try to move a little bit because it usually takes me like 15 minutes of the boost. Took us much longer. So we're okay on arrows. We want to get our stasis out, and I recommend just taking your weapon, giving a good shot, because first time he goes down, you're gonna want to grab this sword and then start chopping. If you get kind of stuck like I did, where I just wasted that stasis, where you make sure you switch over to that bow too. If you kind of get stuck where you're under him too long, run out the back, and you should be fine. Like this. See, he's gonna. We're gonna be okay. We'll shoot him in the butt a few times with this more high-powered bow, and that's that. Oh, free wood! Oh, heck yeah! Well, we didn't make the task of getting through without losing any health. But I think what I tried to explain to you was methods that you could use that doesn't take, you know, I'm sure you've seen the videos, the guys doing all these flips and dodges and taking guys out like that, and you think there's no way I'm never going to be able to do this. Well, nothing that I showed you here today is anything that you can't easily do. And like on the floor with the club where I messed up with those guys, just don't hold your shots as long as I did. I got greedy and tried to take an extra shot on the one guy. And really all you want to do is hit the guy on the far side in the face. Once you hear that ding, shoot the electric guy, and then get that club out and get spinning before they stop being shocked. Because the idea is, if you do it that way, you can kill both of them before they get a hand on the weapon. And also, after you get the first guy and you're spinning that club, just keep spinning and spin right through that campfire. And then when you hit the guy on the far side of the campfire, you're going to be hitting him with additional damage from the fire. And that'll knock him out pretty quick. And you're dealing, it's hard to say for as many times as I've done it, I really haven't. What happened today was probably like the worst of outcomes that I've had. Usually you have no problem taking both those guys out. You know, just keep spinning. One thing I will say is I have had times where I've used both of my extra yellow bars of stamina to keep spinning to kill that second guy. But it still doesn't give him the opportunity to pick any weapons up or to do any strikes against you. So, hope you enjoyed the video. I'm a little bit short in the tooth with doing tutorials, but it just kind of bothered me how people will talk about that floor, at floor 7 or whatever it is with the two lizard guys, is being like so difficult and stuff, when, like I said, as long as you take out that guy with the arrow and he don't blow the horn, it's all about just taking a shot with your bow and then getting up behind them. And once you do your first sneak strike, then you're good to go. And same with the other guy. If you don't use your bow and you try to sneak up and sneak strike them, you're gonna knock them right down the ramp and into the water. And once they're in the water, you're in for a bad day. My recommendation on that board is, if you get in a situation where you mess one of those sneak strikes up, is to get to basically the starting point of the pier and wait for them both to reset to their original positions, which might take a little bit of time. But the alternative of going up there and trying to fight them, it's not realistic, because they'll stick in the water and shoot you. They'll spit at you and just take your health down. And no matter if you just sit there with the best bow that you have and just keep trying to get headshots on them, you can't ever get their health down. They basically roll over, you shoot them a couple times in the belly, and when they flop back over, their health's back to where it was when it started, and they're spitting at you again. So if you knock them in the water, like I said, while they're in the water, get down to the end of the pier and hope that they don't follow you. If they do, what you're going to need to do is knock them into the water, go back to where you were originally supposed to sneak strike them, and do a couple whistles. And once you get them to start heading back towards that position, go ahead and sneak back to the beginning point. They'll crawl back up the ramps and reset themselves and try again. Okay. Well, like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that, maybe somebody learned something. Okay. Have a good day.